$1,000,000 today. What would you do?
Why do I have to say it?
Because you showed me. Let's see it.
I would make a whole town for all the stray cats, and I would take care of them.
Isn't that sad? It just kind of makes you tear up. Yeah. And she actually has a picture of the town that she would create. What else did you guys talk about? I can't fault you for loving stray cats, but yeah.
Well, the first thing would go to all my debt.
Yeah, yeah. Debt would be paid off.
Yeah.
How many of you would pay off your debt first? That's what I would do. Yeah, totally out of debt. House paid off would be lovely, right? What else? Who would buy something for their significant other or their parents? Or would you buy something? What'd you buy?
I'll just give them money.
Just give them money? That would be enough? But they might just spend it frivolously. Is that okay? Oh, okay. How many of you would give towards a missions project or do something on missions? What kind of missions project?
Just anything, whatever comes up that we can work or
Yeah, good. I would do that. I would actually want to build a school in India because I would love to do that. They're about $30,000, $40,000. Like the guy I told you about that built 10 of them. I would love to do that. Because I've been to those schools and I've seen what a difference education makes for the Dalit of India. It's big. It's cool. And you know, the nice thing about giving to education is it's not like, and the guy from Stamps talked about that. Remember he said you can buy somebody a computer and they'll have a computer, but in 4 years it's out of date. Or you can educate them and they've got it for a lifetime. And I think that's really true, especially people that don't have education. What else? What did you guys talk about back there?
We talked about enough debt.
Did you? Number one thing? School debt, yeah? Yeah. See, and we at Biola would like you to pay off your school debt, so that's a good thing. No, I'm kidding. What else you got?
Invest it.
Yep. What's first choice of investing? We're going to be talking about investing in about 3 or 4 weeks. So if you feel like you just don't have a knowledge about that, it's going to be a good time to talk more about it. Well, your test starts today in the little things. I've got an envelope here that has money for you in it. If you would, take a little envelope out of here. That will be your stewardship money. And then just initial by your name so that I know that you've received this. So the test begins in little things today. 25 bucks in there. I want you to begin to kind of think how you can multiply the $25. I think I shared with you, I've had students that literally have bought mosquito nets. They were like $5 a piece. He bought 5 mosquito nets, and statistically 1 in 3 people in where he was buying them for would get malaria, right? And many of them would die. So he had statistical evidence that the 5 mosquito nets that he had purchased would save 2 lives. Cool. I love that. I mean, that's multiplying the investment, right? I've had people use the money to do like advertising for a garage sale that they did with 5 houses and they made $1,500 with it. Cool. That's multiplying it, right? So look for ways, think of ways to use this in ways that multiply it. I love that. That's one of my favorite things. I've had students that get in line at Starbucks in the drive-thru and they'll say to the Starbucks gal, you know, pay for as far many cars as are behind me with my 25 bucks. Is that a good use of it? Could be, if God puts it on your heart to do something like that. You know, that's a way to use it. I just challenge you to get creative in the use of 25, because if this scripture is true, and I believe that it is, if you are faithful in the little things, God can entrust the bigger things to you, right? So I challenge you to do that. When you do this project in a couple of weeks, here's what I want you to do. God in your stuff, one of your textbooks that you've been reading, looks like this. Anybody not have God in your stuff? Okay. On page 96, there is a model of giving that the author talks about. There's a 5-step giving paradigm. And this is the model that you will use at the end of the semester when you do your stewardship project. After you decide how you're going to use your stewardship money, what I want you to do is to be able to present this 5-step paradigm and how you have kind of filled in each of these models. We're going to, in class today, work on an outline. So take some notes, get your notes open. I want you to kind of work on your outline for your giving project. Number 1 on this, I'll put them up here so we got it. This is called the giving paradigm. We'll just call it giving for lack of time. Number 1 is why. Why? Determine and understand your motives for giving. It's bigger than this project, right? What is it that drives you to give? You should have some scriptures there, right? You should know what God instructs us. That is one of the great reasons to give, because we're instructed by God to do it, right? You want to have a clear understanding of your motives for giving. And the hope is, at this point, as you kind of are going through it, that you've got some background to be able to do that. What is it that prompts you to use your money in such a way that you are giving to others? Number 1, why? Number 2, what method? So what does that mean? Establishing your methodology. Okay, establishing the methodology. So if once you've identified why you give, and you've got that kind of in your mind, think about the method that you're using to give. The wise, and the book says, the wise steward generally seeks to support effective and efficient causes and to make those recipients more effective and efficient through the support. So think about how you're going to give. Are you going to give your time? Are you going to give your money? Are you going to give resources? You're going to give through a certain systematic approach to it? What is your method of giving? Has God gifted you in such a way with talents and skills that you'll serve on a board? That's giving, right? It's a methodology of giving. Number 3 is to what? To what? And this is a category that is kind of a broad category that would say, I'm passionate about feeding the homeless, or I'm passionate about world missions, or I have a real heart for cats, if that's your... But something that floats your boat, something that is so passionate, that you're so passionate about, that you just got to do it. What is that? To what? That's that category. Next category is to whom? To whom? So Julie and I are passionate about India and the Dalit people. We know in this category that the Dalit Freedom Network and Operation Mobilization do a great job in ministering to the Dalit people, right? And we know that we have the financial resources to give, so we give monthly to kids that are Dalit kids, right? And we know, because we've seen firsthand, and we know that we need to give. Scripture tells us that we should support the least, right? Dalit is about as least as you can get. So it works on our philosophical basis to go, we know we're called to give and support the least of these. We have the finances to do it. We've seen the need in the Dalits, and we know that Dalit Freedom Network does a good job. And the last category is how much? Now this can vary. The how much category, for you guys, you know it's going to be 25 bucks, right? Because that's what you've been given to give. So you know what the amount is. But this is a methodology that you guys can use for life. And that's why I'm sharing it with you. It's something that will help you do this for life. When you are out of here next year, 2 years down the road, and you're thinking about, why is it that I give? I know I'm supposed to give back to the church, but why? And you've worked that one through, and you've thought about the method, you've thought about giving your time or your resources, your talents, right? And you've narrowed down what it is that you want to give to, and which group does it well. Then this one is, how much is God calling me to do? It's not the 10%, right? It could be the 40%, or it could be the whatever that God has laid on your heart to give back to organizations. Make sense? So it's a process, and it's a process that will kind of serve you for life, okay? So when you do your presentations in a few weeks, I don't know, how many weeks? 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5 weeks we do this, 6 weeks? When you do your presentations, you need to have identified why you give. That's the first thing I want to hear from you. Why is it? Then identifying your method, to what, to whom, how much, when you do your presentations, okay? So that's your model for the stewardship presentation that you'll do at the end of the class. What I want you to do now is for about, I told you I'd let you guys go a little bit early. For about 5 or 6, 7 minutes, start your outline, okay, of what you want to do. And take it as far as to say, if you know, this is an important one. You kind of know what this one is. This is an important one, right? And this is an important one. So what I want you to kind of focus on now is why you give, to what you give, to whom you give. And in about 6 minutes, 7 minutes, I'm going to have you go into your small groups and share your direction, right? And then I want to hear, I think I have one, well, I'll tell you that later. Go in your groups, well, excuse me, first work on these on in your individual outlines. You got 5, 6 minutes, and then I'll call you into your groups in a couple minutes, okay? Go.
Biola University offers a variety of biblically centered degree programs, ranging from business to ministry to the arts and sciences. Visit biola.edu to find out how Biola could make a difference in your life.